And I'm a first year student in KM and majoring media communication. That you have known that. And what I'm doing today is to the purpose of our interview today is to fulfill our class assignment of a case study of a leader. And so we choose you. So yeah, that's my introduction. So next, can you introducing for yourself?
Okay, sure. My name is Andrea. I am a third year psychology student, and currently I am in an organization. It's a youth leadership organization called AIESEC, and my current role in this organization is the president of AIESEC in UKM. Yep.
Okay. So okay. So let me see. Oh, may I know the history of AIESEC?
Okay. So history of AIESEC was formed in one of the European countries. I don't remember which country exactly, but AIESEC was formed in one of the countries in Europe after the Second World War. Um, Basically, so the objective of Isaac at the time was because it was just after the Second World War, right? So there was this group of young people who decided that in order to prevent something like this from happening again, in order to have to encourage peace in the world, it starts with young people, and it also starts with having cross-cultural understanding. So they formed Isaac, and from then Isaac has been spread throughout the world. So Isaac is an international organization. We have Isaac in different countries, not just in Malaysia. We have Isaac in Singapore. We have Isaac in mainland of China. We have Isaac in Sri Lanka, in Indonesia, in like a lot of other countries lah. Yeah. So Isaac in UKM, we are the second chapter that was formed in Malaysia. So the first was Isaac in UM, and then after that, Isaac in UKM was formed in 1970. We have been operating since then. Yeah.
Oh, I see. You mean UKM AIESEC is formed from the 1970. So
Yes.
it's just the second one in Malaysia.
Yes.
Oh, I see. And it's that I never know before. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So I know the science of AIESEC. So when you first come to UKM and join the AIESEC organization, so do you know the member size have broadened or have been smaller?
Okay. Very good question. I think more or less Isaac in UKM's membership size is considered quite small, considered to some other local chapters. So we have around like 20 members plus minus. Um and usually some other local chapters they can reach up to 80 members. So Isaac UKM is considered a small local chapter. Since time, I think perhaps the size was a little bit bigger. There were perhaps around like 30 members, but it hasn't really decreased that much, so it's more or less still the same. Yeah.
So why UKM will be a little small than other local campus? So I just
Um,
wonder lah.
okay. Yeah, no worries. So basically, we have when we have different local chapters, there will be different development. They'll be developing at different rates, right? So some local chapters might develop a bit slower. Some local chapters, perhaps their performance are a bit better. Yeah. So usually, when there are local chapters who have really high performance, expand more, they can develop more, they know more. So they can open up different they can open up more departments, they can run more projects, so that requires more manpower. So whereas for AIESEC in UKM, we are developing a bit slower, so our performance is not that high yet. So we don't really have the capacity to open up more projects or open up more departments. So that's why our membership size is a bit smaller.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But I think, yeah, yeah, but I think I can also uh, to invite more my friends to join ASEC if they want to. I can try my
Yeah, yeah. If
best.
yeah, if you have any friends who are interested, we will have an recruitment around like September or October. So if they are interested and they are not final year students, and yeah, if they're interested, lah, then you can invite them to join us, lah. Yeah,
So you mean September or October?
yeah. Or if they would be interested in joining our projects, our volunteering projects like Eco or Speak Up.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, if they are interested to kind of like test and see, because it's just short term, right? If you join the project, it's not long term. So if they are interested to volunteer first, they can first join that, and then later on, if they are interested to continue in AIESEC, then they can join our membership after they are done with the projects.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So next, I want to explain the objectives of our interview. The first is to understand the meaning of being a leader from your perspective. I mean, as the ASEC leader, and then we want to understand the leadership style of you. And last, we want to understand the leadership skills from your perspective. So first, I want to ask. Let me find. Um, it's it would be a little hard. How do you define leadership?
Okay. I would say leadership is you are in a position of authority because you are basically the head of a team. You are leading something, so you are in a position of authority. But how you carry out or exert that, or how you use that authority that you have, is it defines how good of a leader you are. So I would say you would have to have like a vision and direction that you want your team and organization to work towards. So a little bit of like my experience when I first applied to this position. So one of the things that I had to work on was thinking about how I wanted my term as the president to look like what kind of vision I had for Isaac in UKM, what kind of direction I wanted to move towards, and also like what are the focuses that I had during my term. So I would say being a leader is mainly you have to have the vision and direction that you want to bring your team or your organization towards. And also as a leader, is also connecting with people, especially people who are in your team, and also guiding them in working towards the vision that you have. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Mm, mm, so, do you think you are a good leader?
Very interesting question. That's a very direct question. Do I think I'm a good leader?
So you can give me some example. Okay.
I don't think I'm a bad leader. I think I have my own strengths and I have my own But there are also things that there are also weaknesses and also areas that I can definitely improve in.
Yes, yes, definitely. But just doctor need us to require this question. Uh, okay, that's fine. Do you think you can learn different leadership skills from different people?
Definitely. So in AIESEC, we network with a lot of different people, right? So as a president of my local chapter, I also interact a lot with the presidents from other local chapters as well. And everyone has different leadership styles, different skills that they are good at. So I can definitely like from my interactions with them, I can tell that, oh, this person is good at this person is what their strength is this. So yeah, I can definitely pick up a little bit from like how they work, how they think, how they plan things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think yes. Like ASIC, I also work with different people. So I think um what he's impressed me mostly is Sednar. Sednar. Sednar is very
Oh,
very
Satna.
yeah, Sednar. Very excellent leader.
Yeah.
Yes, I think. But also you yes. From you I
Thank you.
can
Thank you.
learn that you can explain things so clearly to us, I think.
Okay,
And
that's good to know.
yes, and when you to make a presentation, I think you can leader the atmosphere. Yes, but maybe you will be a little nervous sometimes. But
Yeah.
I can realize that you want to express yourself more better and to let
Mm-hmm.
us to relax sometimes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You have very good observation skills.
thank you. And I'm also a little nervous to do this interview.
It's okay, take your time.
Mm, why not as a leader? How do you think uh what's your impression in others' eyes?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, like uh what's others' expression for you? Uh, mm,
I don't really understand.
uh, like like your friends, how your
Uh-huh.
friends and how your members in ASEC to look at you, think you are
Oh, how do I think the members think about me?
yeah, think about you.
Ah, interesting question. mm, I think perhaps people who don't know me very well might be a bit scared of me because sometimes I can be a bit strict or I can come across as strict sometimes.
Yeah,
Perhaps in the way that I talk, or perhaps uh, when I enforce something. Yeah, so I come across as a bit strict. So I think people might be people who don't know me very well, people who aren't very close to the members who I don't interact a lot with. They might probably be a little bit scared of me. So what my team might think about me, I guess um, I'm a person who likes to question them a lot. So they might think that I'm a very I'm a thinker. So I think a lot. So I also try to guide them to think a lot as well. So I would a lot of questions. So they might yeah, they might associate that with me. Um, I think I hope that they also see me as a person who is easy to get along with and easy to talk to, because I do encourage open communication with my team. So if they feel like they want to voice out anything, I encourage them to voice it out. Yeah.
For yes, for me, first expression of you, I think you are a little bit strict, little, just little, but I think so. How that so I mean I don't scared with your strict. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
communicate with you, even though sometimes I will be nervous, really. But I'm a
Understand.
communication student, and what I need to do
Mm-hmm.
first is to communicate with others and try to know more about others. So,
Yeah, you're
so
doing very well.
thank you. So maybe first time I will think you a little bit strict because you are uh very careful about the work sometimes. So
Mm.
from your eyes and from you, yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
from the whole
Okay,
body,
interesting.
yeah, a little strict. But other sometimes you will be very interesting and let us relax like the introduction day. I
Mm-hmm.
see another side of you. Mm. Okay, so so next, I going to ask another question, like
Mm-hmm.
understand the leadership style of you. Uh, I remember I want you to read just a form about the leadership style,
Yep.
and you have answered it. And
Yes.
what's your feeling?
I think I did a quiz like this before.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's, I think, also the six types of leadership styles. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same six types. And I think I got coaching as my main leadership style as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I was kind of more or less expecting it, because I kind of the way I lead, I do kind of see myself as a coaching person as well. Yeah.
yeah, that's what our doctor let us to do the text for
Mm-hmm.
our everyone and also for our leader.
Mm.
Yeah, and I realized that you are more like a coaching leader. So which means you want to give you memberships more opportunity, more chance to behave themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and also teach them how to do the things, so that it in the long term it will be a very good leadership style because it focuses on the long time run to teach everyone to do the things and not just one person,
Yep.
because it's a team need everyone to do. If everyone make a little progress as a time, so that's the big team will progress in the long term. So I think it's a good leadership style. Mm, but I realize that you you need some other leadership styles based on that website.
Yes. Definitely. I learned that you can't leadership style and just use that one leadership style like all the time, because as a leader you deal with very diverse people, people with different backgrounds, people with different thinking processes, people who work different ways. So definitely, at certain times you might need to, when your leadership style isn't really working, then you might need to pick up or try to adapt, using other leadership styles to deal with a certain person or or a specific situation. Yeah, so this is actually something that I am still working on a little bit, but it's something that I learned as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have did a good job for the coaching leadership, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm, even though for me, I also have many many areas to make a progress, I think. Mm, so what's next question? Mm, so next we go on to the third question. Like, do you think leadership is a gift or is it developed slowly later in life, like a habit or a gift?
Very good question as well. I think leadership might come a bit easier to some people. So perhaps some people are born with um, certain talents, such as some people tend to be able to speak better, communicate better. Maybe some people are thinkers. They think very well. They are very strategic. They like to plan things. So perhaps some people are born with these skills that help them to be a leader, or that it makes it easier for them to be a leader. So yeah, so I won't say that leadership in itself is a gift, because leadership consists of different elements, right? So you have being a good leader means you have perhaps you're good at communicating, you're good at strategizing, you're good at planning, different things. So people who perhaps find it easier to be a leader, they might have been born with these talents that help them to perhaps ease a little bit better into a leadership role. So, but definitely, leadership is also built through experiences. So, when you go through experiences, when you go through different situations, when you have all these kind of experiences, I feel like these skills can be built. So indirectly, it also builds your leadership as well. So I wouldn't say a person has to be born to be a leader. There are people who definitely find it easier to be a leader, but it can also be built through experiences in life.
Yes, I also think so. Yeah. So, from your perspective, what skills do you think you can learn from others, or you can you can make some change or make some progress?
Mm. Um, Good question. I think in terms of strategic thinking, like planning,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of things, I struggle a little bit with this. So yeah, in terms of making long-term decisions, planning ahead. So this is something that I struggle a little bit with. So it's something that I definitely can learn from other people. And mm, in terms of resource management, like the resources that I have. So like we have like resources, for example, like time, managing like people resources, these kind of things. How do I arrange everything in order to maximize the limited we have, and also at the same time still be able to be efficient and effective.
Yeah. So for the human resource that you have mentioned, I think you can just to open communication and to make more friends. so that you can open your human resource, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what I'm thinking is that making friends is also should be careful.
Mm,
Yes.
definitely.
So but I think from the most time we can always make some friends in our life.
Yes.
Uh, Also an interesting question. Do you receive more positive feedback from them in your team, like they trust you a lot, or do you receive more negative one?
I would say that people, because I would consider my relationship with my team is good. So people tend to um, try to avoid giving negative feedback to people who they have a good relationship with. So unless you are really like an objective driven person, usually you won't you have the tendency to avoid giving negative feedback to people. Yeah. So I have received more positive than negative feedbacks. But I think a lot of not a lot, like some of like the feedback received is not really like verbal, like they don't directly tell you that, oh, this is what you can improve on, or this is what you did well. You can kind of like sense it through how they react to certain things, how they respond to certain things that you do. So in that way it's kind of like feedback as well. So I would say that there is a balance of positive and negative, because like sometimes I can tell that certain decisions that I make or certain things that I suggest are received. I wouldn't say negative, but it's not something that my team really appreciates or really supports. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I would say there is a balance. Yeah.
I also think so. And I know what positive feedback you have received. You mean, you mentioned that the positive feedback and positive react, like
I think mostly I receive a lot of appreciation on in terms of like providing guidance to my team, like helping them to think through certain problems that they have, and to come up with solutions, or sometimes suggest some solutions to them that they can take into consideration. So usually most of the time I would receive appreciation from my team for this kind of support that I provide to them. Yeah. uh yeah, mostly it's
and also I want to know what's your initial intention to be a leader.
very good question. Intention to be a leader, I think um when I first joined AIESEC, right? So when I first joined AIESEC, I joined as a member as usual, and then after that, I was given the opportunity to be a leader, because in AIESEC we don't really like the way we apply for higher role is not through like, oh, I vote you to be a higher role. It's your own initiative. You apply for the role, you go through an application process, you go through an interview, then um if you pass, then you go into that role. But you take the initiative, you have to put in the effort to apply for the role. So at that time there was the opportunity for me to take up a higher role, a leadership role, So I at that time I was thinking, since I joined AIESEC, and for the 6 months that I was here as a member, I definitely learned a lot, and I could see myself being able to grow in AIESEC. So, and definitely the best way for you to grow in AIESEC is to go for leadership roles, because as a member you can only learn so much, right? So, but when you go to when you go for leadership role, you learn a lot more. You see things from different perspectives. You learn how to was able to it's a way for me to grow and to develop all these skills. So I went for that role. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. As as a member, you will just from the perspective of a member. So you will just fill up the assignment, like assignment maybe sometime. But as a leader, you have to think about the whole process. I think.
Yeah.
I think it will be different challenging between the
Yes.
leader and also the member.
Mm-hmm.
So, so as that leader is not selected by the voting, it's just from your own self. Yeah, you
Okay,
drop
so
application.
so in Isaac we have different levels of leadership. The first level is okay. So right at the top we have the president, and then below the president we have the executive board, the vice presidents, head of departments. So like Satna is an executive board. So they are basically the leader of the departments that we have in Isaac. And then below that, we have the management team, which are the directors. So, for example, like Jalshika, a team leader, is a director, is the part of the management team. And then we have the members. So, for the management team, the directors, the process to apply for this role basically you send in your application and then you attend an interview. So once you pass the interview, means you then you go into this role. But for the executive board and the president, you go through you send in your application and you go through an interview, but you also have to go through an election. So we call it vote of confidence. Basically, your membership will vote on whether they want a leader or not.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see.
But you do have to take the initiative to apply for it and to go through that whole process first. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that when I go to the university, I found that everything, if you are interested, you have to put your effort, your own effort.
Yes.
It's a both side, like ASIC side
Yep.
and
Yep.
also our student side. If we want to do to be the member, we have to put our effort and also you side.
Yep.
And I also realized that for every member's job, we have very details for this member. So like what she or he uh, have to do is very detailed
Mm-hmm.
and very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think the system is very
Yep.
effective
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
some instance. And um, I also want to know, do you have made some difficulties when in ASEC? And how do you
Oh,
solve the problem?
okay. Definitely, you do face challenges in Isaac because one thing that Isaac does is we develop leadership through practical experiences, and we believe that being in challenging environment, um, having challenging experiences is what develops a person to become a leader. So being in Isaac, definitely you face a lot of challenges. Um, for example, when you plan something like a project, things not necessarily go your way. There are a lot of external factors that are influencing whatever you do in AIESEC. So, for example, I think like last year, I was part of the executive board. So basically, I was head of the people management department. So that was my role. So at that time, we had our VP OGV, head of the OGV department, which is Satna's role currently. So we had someone who was in that role. But 6 months into the term, he decided he wanted to resign. Yeah. So at that time, I had a lot of other people who resigned as well from the management team layers who wanted to resign. So at that time, around like 5 or 6 people from the leadership team who left AIESEC and UKM. So it was a very, very difficult time because I had to take up another role, basically the VP OG role. So basically, I was handling you think about 2 departments. You have to think from 2 perspectives. You have to take care of 2 different teams. You have to play your role as basically 2 very, very different departments. So that was definitely one of the biggest challenges I have faced in AIESEC. How I overcame it, I would say it was a lot of task delegation. So making sure that I delegated the jobs, delegated tasks well to my members, to my team, and also at the same time just remembering that I'm doing this for AIESEC and UAM, and that just remembering that this is that I have taken up and that I should um, hold on or at least perform my responsibility.
Yeah, I agree. I understand the challenges that you have met. I would say if I meet the challenge, I will be at first I will be don't know how to do it, but next time maybe I want to come up with some ideas to solve this problem. Yeah, like you, but I think you solved the problem. Very well. Yeah. Also, um, do you think you have any skills to communicate with your group members? Like, yeah.
Okay. I think yeah, definitely. As a leader, you definitely need to have communication skills. Um, I think well, since I joined AIESEC, when I first joined AIESEC, I joined as a sales member, so OGB sales. Yeah, basically what if you know Bernie, Vishnu, what they're doing,
Bernie,
the
Vision.
yeah,
Uh,
you
I
know, they are in OGB as well.
I see these names in our group, but I haven't have some communication with them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I did sales. So that basically helped me to, because I had to interact with different people, right? So learning how to talk to them, how to approach them, how to get my message across, how to answer their questions. So these are definitely things that I picked up from there and then also improved over the months that I've been in AIESEC. So yeah, definitely communication skills very important in the role that I have right now.
Yeah, communication skills. Yeah, very important. I also think. So, um, Oh, also, do you think, can you share with me the skills you need to be the leader of AIESEC?
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So, what I mentioned a little bit earlier, as a leader, you have to have vision, what you want to achieve during your time as a leader. What is your vision for your organization or for your team? What is the direction that you want your team to work towards? And then being able to guide and lead your team towards that vision that you have. And also, as a leader, you need to have long sightedness, meaning being able to make decisions and knowing how these decisions affect the future. Because whatever as a president, whatever decisions are exactly 3 years from now. So having that kind of uh, being able to project how certain decisions right now are able to affect the future, and from then knowing the right decisions to make. Yeah. And then also how to communicate with different people and how to get your message across to them. Being resilient, because I mentioned earlier you face a lot of challenges, right? So knowing how to go through these challenges, and still at the same time being able to persevere and be resilient and to learn from those challenges or any mistakes that you've made. Being strategic, because as a leader, you have the vision that you want to achieve. You also know how you have also have to know how you want to achieve that vision. So coming up with strategies, with plans on how you want to ensure that organization is sustainable. And then yeah, I think these are some of the skills that
Yeah, I agree with you. You mentioned that strategic and strategic planning and also creating some vision,
mm-hmm,
and it's all called maybe conceptual skills. Yes, because my notes have tiered to us that the strategic planning and also creating visual vision. These skills are
mm,
actually called the conceptual skills that we have learned from our reading
mm,
material that a doctor sent to us.
I see.
Yeah. And also you mentioned that
Okay.
communication skills, like the social skills, it is interpersonal
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
skills. It's a part of interpersonal skills.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned the two skills. Very good. So you have that, but do you think the technical skills and also the managing resource and also how to manage people also is a skills for a leader? Do you think?
Yep, definitely. So, for example, I mentioned like managing resources. Like what I mentioned earlier in terms of like even leading yourself, managing your own time, your own energy as a leader is very important, because as a leader you have to take care of yourself, manage yourself, before you're able to manage others, right? So first managing yourself, and then after that managing resources that you have. So, for example, again, time, because we have a timeline, right? So managing time is important. Managing finance, because our organization involved finance is very important. Um, Managing the people that we have, in terms of like how we want to, how many people we want to have in. Do we want to place more people in this department over that department? Which department is the more is a more important department, or which department is a focus department for this term based on my direction. So how do I want to arrange the people in the organization? So these are some of the important resource management skills to have. And I think in AIESEC there are also some other technical skills that you mentioned, more like hard skills in terms of like using spreadsheets, um, and yeah, like Excel or Google Sheets. Also designing slide, planning an agenda, using Google Calendar, writing emails, this kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. But can you give me some example uh, to apply these skills? Like you mentioned that managing people, also managing money, managing time, or communication skills, or some um, planning or vision example. Uh, during you be the leader in ASEC. So just some example.
Mm, Let me
No worry,
think.
just
So, um, I think I'll talk about communication skills. So, like I mentioned earlier, when you team, when you work with team, when you are a leader of a team, you have people with different profiles in your team. So people with different backgrounds, people with different communication styles. So you as a person, you have your own communication style, but you also need to adapt to the person you are communicating with. So communicating with a group is different from communicating with an individual. So like when I interact, when I have a little bit more authoritative, more strict when I and yeah. So whereas when I communicate individually, I'm a little bit more personal. I'm a little bit more casual as well. So I also have to adapt to what different people need. So in order to make them comfortable enough to open up to me so that I can provide them support as well. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think you have given me a good idea. And also, I want to learn from you. Mm,
Sure.
from for this interview, I think you are a easy going people, a person. Different from the others' expression from me. Yes. Mm, I don't have some question till now. Um, do you have any question ask me? Oh,
I don't have any questions so far.
okay.
I mean, this is your interview.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think I have any question because I have asked so many questions, I think.
Yeah, it's if you can't think of any questions now, if you have any questions later on, you can text me as
Oh,
well.
just
I
have
can answer your
to.
questions in Telegram.
Oh, okay. Can we take a picture?
Oh yeah, sure.
Mm, 3, 2, 1. Eh? Thank you.
All right, no problem.
I will send this to my group members.
In the future, if there's
Mm-hmm.
anything you want to ask me or anything, if future,
Mm,
or if
maybe
you
a
want
little
to,
question, but I will send to
yeah,
you through the Telegram. So you have, and if you have
yeah,
free
yeah.
time, you can answer me. Yeah. Just
Okay.
when you have free time.
Yeah, 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 sure, sure.
Okay. So thank you for give
All
us chance
right.
to interview for you. Very thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's our. I think it's our. It's a good chance for us to interview you because we think find a leader is not a easy things. But I
Mm-hmm.
just come up with I know a leader because I just an AIESEC member, so I'm very lucky.
Yeah,
But for other group,
yeah. You have so many people to pick from in Isaac.
yeah. But for other group, maybe not so lucky. I also trust they can
Ah,
find some leader, good leader.
mhm.
So very thank you. And uh, also we
No
asked so
problem.
many questions during this process, and thank you for you answer our question all the time, Calvary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So will you sleep after this interview?
No, I have work to do.
Yeah, because you
I have
mentioned you have
assignments.
90 assignment.
Yes, I am a night
So you
person.
90% because you will do your assignment.
Yes,
Oh,
I have deadlines this week,
yeah.
so I
I
have
also
to
have
rush my assignments.
like
Yeah,
this
it's
interview.
the assignment peak coming.
Yeah. Also for this, the interview is our assignment for this Friday. Yeah.
Mm. What class is this?
Leadership. Yeah. Let me tell you
Ah, okay.
for and let me find. Have you have this course before?
I don't think so.
Uh, course leadership. Yeah.
No.
The whole thing is about leadership. So we will read many
Mm.
reading material just about the type of
Ah,
leadership and yeah, your type of leadership and what skills have to be a leadership. And also another thing about leadership, we read many things. And also we will do
interesting.
a case study about a
Mm.
leader. Yes. Mm. I don't I don't know why our communication students will have this lesson. But maybe I think as a
Interesting.
communication student we have to know how to be a leader. Maybe huh? I don't know. We also
Maybe
have
who knows?
we also have volunteer class. Do you have volunteer class?
No, I don't.
We also have
It's a required
yeah
subject, like it's compulsory. It's part of your syllabus. It's not like Chitra.
yeah it's teacher, but it's a master teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Maybe
So for
they don't have any classes for you, so they just give random classes.
for last semester we do some volunteer like I go to make some video for the disability children to
Ah.
give their gratitude to some company because this company gives them
Mm.
money to buy some air
Ah.
conditioning and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah. So the children will give some thank you to them. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
what we need to do is
I
to record
see.
some video for them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I think for communication students, very interesting because every day we will learn
Yeah.
some new things I have never touched before. It's very interesting, but also
Mm-hmm.
so many assignments,
Yeah, you told, yeah.
so many assignments.